Hello and welcome to Caught in the Web, which is a WTEN's show about stories from our website that may or may not have made it to air that we'd love to share with you. Thank you for joining us and this morning, evening, or afternoon, whenever you may be watching. I'm Jackson Tollerton. I'm one of the digital producers here, and I'm joined by my lovely what's the word? Co-workers on the web team. Courtney, Christina, and Kaden. Welcome in. How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
We're all right for this week.
Not too bad. It's finally the fingers crossed, deep freeze in the area is a little bit over. We had lovely 25-degree weather this week. It was refreshing and warm. So the last couple of shows, and really most of our shows, have included some sort of, talk or discourse about breakfast, lunch, and dinner, kind of a little homage there at the intro in my morning, afternoon, or evening. Sometimes we talk about whether or not cinnamon buns, for example, are breakfast or dinner or dessert items. Sorry, not dinner. And so I just, I think we could talk about that a little bit today. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. The three meals of the day. Where does everybody sit as far as their favorites? Anybody got a penchant for one or the other?
Dinner's my favorite.
Dinner is your favorite. Yeah. Christina, I got to say, I think you and I are the two biggest hot takes people in the office. And I sat down and I said to myself before we walked in, nobody's going to say their favorite is dinner. And
what?
Right off the bat, dinner is your favorite.
Why would no one say dinner?
Why is dinner your favorite?
It's so cozy.
I think dinner is probably the most subjective. You don't often hear about like dinner for breakfast. I think dinner for breakfast is just like a hungover meal, of like pizza the next day. Breakfast for dinner though is a thing, so that's already two food, times going into dinner, and that doesn't even include all the dinner stuff. So I think dinner is kind of, got the most going on. But you said it's cozy.
Yeah, it's cozy. Also, I don't agree with you that breakfast or dinner is the most like versatile.
Wow. Okay.
I think it's breakfast.
You think breakfast is the most
because
versatile?
People have pizza for breakfast, or like Chinese food for breakfast, or cinnamon rolls, which are objectively a dessert for breakfast.
Chinese food for breakfast.
Kaden had ice cream for breakfast the other week.
It doesn't have to be just the other week. It could be any day. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Sometimes.
The one I did think was, and I guess I should have said it earlier, but I think lunch is the one that is like often thrown to the side. Like it's just kind of like assumed like, yeah, we'll get lunch in there at some point and then on to breakfast or on to, if you're dinner or whatever. And I think lunch is underrated. I think people sometimes is lunch the most skipped meal or is breakfast the most skipped meal?
I don't like lunch that much. It's just dinner leftovers.
I was going to say I would rather skip lunch than breakfast because man, there's too many good breakfast foods to skip out on, guys. Come on. Breakfast foods are so good. And you can have dinner items for breakfast.
I was just going to say, like, when I think of lunch, the first thing that comes to mind is like a sandwich. Mm-hmm. And I think, now that I'm thinking about it, lunch food really could be either breakfast or dinner food. If you go and get like pasta, I mean, that's like, a dinner-y food that you're having in the middle of the day. If you have like, a wrap or something, again, you could have that for dinner. I mean, does lunch have its own identity? Does lunch have its own food?
I think it's supposed to be lighter
Mm-hmm.
than dinner.
Yeah, like a little half sandwich and like a salad or something.
I just don't think you can have breakfast for lunch because that's just a brunch.
But I was going to say that's brunch.
That's different.
Brunch only on the best option.
That's true.
Brunch is only on the weekends, or is it any
it's whenever you want,
brunch with the gals.
Okay.
There's nothing quite like, a little bit of eggs and a mimosa, a little brunch time action. I don't know. I think you could go anyway. So dinner's your favorite, Christina.
Yes.
Okay. How about Courtney and Kaden?
I was going to say breakfast.
Breakfast.
But I would eat breakfast all day, or breakfast food all day.
Yeah.
Like breakfast for dinner is a staple in my house.
Yes. Love. Okay, I'm on the same page with you because like pancakes first of all. Second of all, you can take like your eggs and your protein and your whatever else you want, your cheese, your meats and things like that, and just put it all in a burrito, and magically it becomes a dinner item, but at breakfast hour. So.
I had that this morning.
I love breakfast burritos.
Breakfast burrito.
They're so good.
I think breakfast is like a fun time.
Yes.
Like everybody, you can have a pancake, you can have a bowl of fruity pebbles, you could you could have a cinnamon roll. But like I feel like dinner is like where the start of like foods that people don't want to eat or get like pushed to the side of the plate. They start to come in. Mm-hmm. Dinner is meatloaf.
I love meatloaf.
I love the band Meatloaf.
So what's your like? You're the big going to bat for dinner. What's you got like some favorite dins?
Meatloaf's good.
Please, I'm begging you for meatloaf to not be on the top of the list. Okay.
Or delish. Pizza, delish.
Yeah.
I mean, just anything cozy. A stew.
You're known for pizza nights.
Yes.
You're a pizza night gal.
Yeah.
Pizzas. You said
if you
pizza
have
for
dinner
breakfast.
at my house, dinner will be your favorite meal.
Okay.
Do you cook every night?
Yes.
Wow.
So you enjoy cooking?
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. Dinner, I think, is work.
Yeah.
It's more work. And then you have to clean it up after.
Yep.
It takes 2 hours or more to make it. You got to clean it up, and you eat it in about 5 minutes. It's
And nothing tastes as good, in my opinion, if I am making it. Like, if I'm the one that's making the meal, it doesn't taste as good to me as if somebody else is making the meal for me.
That's scientifically proven. I don't have the paperwork right here or like the study, but I've read that like
Because it's like, because you smell it, like as you're cooking it, and then so when you get to sit down, it's like you kind of already tasted it a little. But
There's
if you
no
go
magic.
outside for 5 minutes and just come back in, it'll taste really good.
Oh, okay. I'll just
Refresh the senses.
Your brain like turns off when you start making. You're cutting the carrots, you're draining the pasta. Your brain picks up every little thing. There's no magic. There's no mystery of what happened to the pasta or the carrots or whatever. What are we having, carrot pasta in this example? And like it's meanwhile, if you don't make it, especially if you're like at a restaurant, your brain is assuming like, oh, some master chef is making this for me, or like, oh, Christina made me dinner. Like she put all her like love and hard work into it, and like until you taste something like physically bad, not that would happen with Christina's dinner, your brain is like assuming like, yes, this is going to be a good meal, but yeah, when you make it, you're like, eh.
I don't want it.
It's just mac and cheese Jackson made, It's like your brain doesn't think it's special. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. Made with love, as they say. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I feel like we could talk about breakfast, lunch, and dinner all day long, but we have some other stuff to talk about. So we'll hop to our first break. Thanks for sticking with us on Caught in the Web. And we are back on Caught in the Web. Thank you all for sticking around. So we have written some stories this week that were on our website, and we are going to talk about them because that's what we do here on this show. So coming to the Cohoes Music Hall is an interesting band. So the band's name is Quarantine with a K. They're coming to Cohoes Music Hall on April 2nd. And Quarantine is a Kiss tribute band that specifically does like 1980s era Kiss, because there's lots of eras of Kiss, if anybody's a fan. The big thing about Quarantine is that they are fronted by lead singer Chris Jericho, who, for anybody who does not know, also happens to be a big-time professional wrestler. A man of many hats, that Chris Jericho. So he is also the singer of his original band, Fozzy. which is the same name as like the Muppet, but not quite. So Quarantine coming to Cohoes Music Hall on April 2nd. They do covers of like Turn on the Night, Good Girl Gone Bad, and there's another thing about Quarantine. They're a Kiss tribute band, but they don't wear the makeup and the armor of Kiss. They just kind of go out and rock the songs out. So Quarantine coming to Cohoes with of course Chris Jericho, April 2nd. You can get tickets on the venue's website. Boy, that's a mouthful. Everybody was talking about this a little bit this week. Somebody, I believe, commented, I had no idea where this headline was going from start to finish because there's just so many things going on. Anybody a fan of anything I just said?
I like Kiss.
When I saw the headline, I was confused because I thought Chris Jericho was a wrestler. And I was like, maybe this is someone just with the same name. So it did throw me off for a second. I didn't know that was a thing.
You can see him in the photo there. He is rocking it out. And I had looked up while I was writing this, is Chris Jericho like retired now from wrestling? No. I believe he's with AEW right now, and he is still wrestling and singing in two different bands. So this is a busy guy. And that was the thing. People were commenting. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to go to see Kiss," and some people were like, "I'm going to go to see maybe Chris Jericho do a wrestling move." And I was like, "I don't know if that's going to happen." Fozzy his other band has been around here a couple times. They played at Empire Live in Albany a little while ago. So Quarantine is coming around. And don't get me started on the spelling of quarantine because I don't know. So that is, some action-packed news. We have some other fun stuff cooking on the website.
One of my favorite chains is coming to Crossgates Mall. Barnes & Noble, for any readers out there. It's going to be an 18,000 square foot store. It's going to obviously carry books, toys, games, vinyl, and paper, and gifting items. It's going to be located on the upper level next to REI. And it will be the 6th spot of a Barnes & Noble in the Capital Region. There's one at Colony Center Mall, Saratoga Springs, Kingston, Poughkeepsie, Pittsfield. Slated to open later this summer, but they don't have a date yet. And I'm just wondering, what's going to happen to the one in Colony Center? Are they going to keep that open? Now there's going to be 2 Barnes & Noble in, a mile radius?
A little behind, inside baseball. If you know me, I used to work at Barnes & Noble at the Colony Center one. And that was the first thing that I wondered when you wrote this up this week. I was like, these are very close. And, I think bookstores, 2026 is a tough time for some retail stores staying open. And books, is a tough industry in itself. So I think it'll be interesting. When I worked there, we would work with the Saratoga store a lot, hey, do you have this book? Do we have this book? So I think that'll help each other out a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you'll see some collabing going on. But yeah, Barnes & Noble rules.
I think I told you guys this. I'm happy it's going to Crossgates because then that's an excuse that I never have to visit Colony Center ever again.
Christina! No, it's okay. You prefer Crossgates.
Yeah, it's just better.
That's wow. I think that needs to be our next open conversation. The 2 malls. I think we're gonna get some sponsorship, talk with the one mall and some shaking fist from the other one. Whatever. It could be an important debate. And this is a big one that always came up when I worked there. It's Barnes & Noble. Not Barnes and Nobles, as some people say. The one person at the there who cares, they're going bad for that. Anybody else big readers? I know Christina's our resident master reader.
So last year I tried to start reading more, and I have ADHD, so it's really hard. I'll just put that out there. It's really hard for me to start a book and then make it to all the way to the end. I just get lost at some point and in between, and I lose interest. It's really hard. It's got to be a really darn good book, I tell you that.
Do you wonder how it ends, or do you just That's it. Like you're done with it.
That's it.
Oh.
It's over. It's like it's 2-week flings. Like I'll go through like a phase of, oh my God, I love this one thing for 2 weeks, and then after that, it doesn't exist. It's gone.
I am very sorry for my friends that are about to find this information out at Barnes & Noble. I lied on my application to Barnes & Noble, and in my interview, they were like, oh, so are you a reader? What are you reading? I am not a big reader, and fibbed to my hiring manager and was like, oh yeah, I'm making my way through the Game of Thrones book right now, and by that I mean watching the series again. And he was familiar with Barnes and Noble, with the Game of Thrones books, so I can't believe I squeaked out of that conversation. And one of the best parts of working there was the discount. And in my room I have like 15 books that I bought from Barnes and Noble that I was like, I'm gonna read all of these, and I have really I maybe not one of them I have read, and which is sad because one of them's The Art of War by Sun Tzu, and that's like 40 pages long. I mean, really, just no excuse to not get through that.
When did you stop working there?
Let's see. It was my last job before working here. So I think it was like December, like 22, 23-ish range. So, yeah. Good times. I love the atmosphere there. I love Barnes & Noble.
Yep.
I think it's a great thing that it's around. I wish I read more. And Josh, I'm sorry I lied to you. It's a good job. I sold a lot of memberships while I worked there, though. But anyway, that's not it. It's not about me. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Christina. We are moving on to some other action in the capital region.
Yes, a well-known business known as Guptill's Roller Skating Arena is celebrating 75 years this year. They opened their doors on Valentine's Day in 1951, and on February 15th, so just this past weekend, they allowed skaters in for only $7.50, but they're going to continue celebrating until February 22nd. The doors will be open from 1 to 4 and then from 6:30 to 9. And it has been a family-owned business ever since it opened. And I'm just very familiar with the ad. Ads promoting their ice cream. Exactly. I've never been inside, but I know the ads.
This is just like such an institution around here. The name, yeah, like you said, there's the ice cream, there's the skating. I'm more of an ice cream guy as far as the Guptill's goes. But we're all kind of based somewhat around here. You all ever been? You say so? You've never been inside?
No.
Yet.
I've driven past. It's near the soccer field where my daughter plays.
No, yeah.
I always look and I think, I should go, but I haven't.
75 years is wild.
Yeah.
I am an awful skater with put wheels, put blades on the bottom of them things. Ice, wood, does not matter. I am not built for skating. I fall and hurt myself every time I've tried. But I've tried.
I'm better on ice than I am on wheels.
Okay, all right.
So
I tried a few years ago to go. It's scary. Also, it's like quite an ankle workout. I remember my ankles and my calves were like sore the next day. I don't think I ever actually made it onto the. They have like I don't know, where you can practice a little bit. I don't know if I ever made it off of that. I don't know if I actually made it into the arena itself.
The bunny slope?
Bunny slope.
Did you not roller skate as a kid? Or anybody?
I did.
No.
I was like really good when I was, well, not like I wasn't like in a derby or anything, but I would like go really fast, and then I didn't do it for 10 years, and now I'm really scared.
When I was at the peak of my athleticism at like 10, I tried to be more of like a skateboard guy. I had some friends that skated like that, and I was awful at that. And I saw like the 4 or like 8 wheels or whatever between the 2 shoes, and I was like, "This is not gonna happen. It's not gonna work." And I've been ice skating once, and I've been roller skating like twice, and I I don't know if you could say I skated any of the times. I was there and I moved and I was on the rink or whatever, but I a lot of falling and getting up for the most part. But Roll Bounce, I love the movie Roll Bounce. Does that count? So congrats to Guptill. That's huge. I mean, look at that picture. That's a relic.
Old school. Definitely.
And we got some other fun action to round up before our last break.
Yes. Quite the delightful event. Delightful. Oh, my God.
You want me to take that again?
No, I didn't even want to say it in the first place. Okay. The MJN Convention Center in Poughkeepsie is hosting a pickle festival. So this is famous food events first. Hudson Valley Pickle Festival down in that neck of the area. I know that there's a lot of people that say that there's Rosendale and there's a bunch of other ones. Yes, absolutely there are. But this is famous. This is famous food events first in Poughkeepsie. It's on March 15th, and you can expect all the pickles in the world, from brines to different pickle vendors, pickle merchandise. I imagine you could probably eat a couple while you're down there if you'd like. All these pickles will have been cured in some form of vinegar or such. So if that's your thing and if that's your take, then go right ahead. Man, I wish I loved pickles. I will say this.
You are not a pickle person.
I am not a pickle person.
Really?
But I wish I was.
Any kind or just the dill kind?
Just any pickle. I hate vinegar and any type of food that's super sour doesn't sit well with me. So I know I'm missing out on a lot by not liking pickles. And it really breaks my heart, guys. But
I love pickles.
I like dill pickles.
Yeah, no, I don't like bread and butter.
I like I think pickles on like a sandwich or even like a little relish on the dog. I'm into that. But this picture here, there's just a big honking pickle. I've seen people just chonk into that thing and be where's the next one?
I want to do that.
I can do that once a year, right?
Are you going to go to the festival?
No. Because, I'm probably going to walk in there and I'm going to smell it and I'm going to be like, this is disgusting.
She tries 3 different things from the different vendors. She goes, bleh.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, they got all sorts of crazy stuff, though. They got pickle fudge, they got pickle slushies and stuff like that,
Lemonades.
There's pickle lemonades. Yeah, I think just a little bit. Yeah, no, definitely. I'm with you.
When I go home, these types of pickles that are on the screen, sometimes I'm like, ugh, I want a little treat, and I have a jar of pickles like that, and I just take one, and I'm like, my daily pickle.
Wow. Are you a savory over sweet person? I guess they're salty, but
I don't think I have a preference.
Any pickle will do.
Oh, just in general or pickle-wise?
Oh, pickle-wise, yeah, I guess savory. I don't like the sweet ones very much.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. Sorry. Yeah. That's probably what you were asking. But I was like, wait, we talked about it.
Well, no, food in general.
Yeah, no, I think
more savory over sweet.
I think it depends on the day. Yeah.
Or
give me an apple with some cheese and mix it up.
That's some stuff. That's good stuff.
A little bit of both. All right. Well, before we get in a pickle, we're going to go to our last break. So thanks for sticking around. Hello and welcome back to our last segment on Caught in the Web segment you pick. So we are in News 10. We write all sorts of news, anything from entertainment to pickles to we write crime, current events, all sorts of stuff. A lot of it gets heavy, and a lot of it is serious stuff, and we try to highlight some more lighthearted things when we can, which brings us to our last story of the day. East Greenbush Central School District put out a notice earlier this week that they are trying reunite this sweet young boy right here with whatever child may be without it, maybe missing it. So this is Diesel. He is a stuffed puppy. He was recently located in the district's lost and found bin, and staff are working very hard to get it back to its rightful owner. It was left behind on a recent bus ride, and because of that, the staff has started calling him Diesel. We wrote about this week. He even went on a ride with the East Greenbush School District Superintendent. This is something near and dear to my heart. I was a big stuffed animal boy as a child. I had like 30 Build-A-Bears.
Wow.
And I think the power and love of a stuffed animal or stuffed companion cannot be emphasized enough. So, and when we got a pal like this here, this guy Diesel, I'd be interested to know his true name. I can't imagine the 4 or 5-year-old whoever lost it that named it Diesel, but maybe. I like that they went with it because it was lost on the bus. But yeah, we gotta get Diesel back home. Somebody's missing this guy.
Yeah. I'm also one of those people here that sits and is still, as a 28-year-old adult, like...
I'm glad you said it. I just turned 29.
Still have stuffed animals.
Buy them. Yeah, exactly.
I still have my stuffed animals from my childhood. I still have my old school Care Bear that glows in the dark on its tummy. Multiple hospital trips on my end when I was a kid. So there's like a ton of stuffed animals that I have that will forever be in my possession if they don't go down with me. They're just such a great sense of comfort, and it sucks to see some kids out here.
When you first see this across the news feed, you might go like, "Oh, this is not, who cares about this?" This matters very much to not only that kid, but the parents of that child who would know that this child is probably inconsolable looking for this pup. Yeah, and I'm glad you said it. I'll admit, I just bought a new Squirtle last week. Last week I bought a new Squirtle. So I was like, oh yeah, I gotta add that to the collection. So.
I had a moment this past week where Valentine's Day went by and I was like, I hope I get a new teddy bear.
Yeah, it's always a little disappointing when you don't, right?
Just a wee bit.
So this has been Caught in the Web. Thank you all for tuning in. This is the 29th episode of Caught in the Web. Can you believe it? If you liked any of these stories and want to check them out or maybe some other ones, you can always go to our website, news10.com, and see what we're working on. And other than that, oh, here's me. Other than that, we appreciate you all, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much.
Bye, spiders!